Hi there, this is episode 21. So we actually skipped 2 episodes technically of the podcast. Episode 19 and the 20th is the Q&A for our franchise. So it's a bonus podcast. And also past couple months, that's why we did not came in, because we uploaded those. So now we're back as a duo, Bigcat, Nicholas, and Yolita Brilliant, the founder of Brilliant Massage and Skin. And today we are actually going to talk about radical self-accountability, and that can go to many different aspects in life. But particularly, we will discuss a couple scenarios with business, real estate, and health, that's what our podcast is. Mm-hmm. Health, wellness, wealth, brilliant, wealth, and health. So we are going to start, let's say, business. I have one example to share with you, how not having self-accountability will not get you far and will not get you successful. I know growing business throughout the years, the only reason why we are able to improve and get better is because we are able to identify what things I am doing as an owner. Yeah, there might be some things that other people might be doing wrong, but you have to look at the reason. Did I not train them properly? Did I not give them enough support, tools? There's always a reason. And if you as a business owner are always going to blame, it's incompetent staff, they can't just do things properly. Your business is never going to improve. You have to find reasons why maybe someone is doing what they're doing. They were not onboarded properly, or they're needing more training on certain skill. The same if you're an employee and you blame, my boss did not show me this, then you need to reach out and take also self-accountability and say, hey, I need more help with this. I need this tool that is broken or doesn't work properly.
Yeah, I always say in just life in general, whether it's business, personal, is don't explain problems away. And what I mean by that is, if there's some sort of problem, just own up to it. If there's times when a client will say, hey, what's the status of X, Y, and Z? And sometimes the status is, well, unfortunately there is no status because we're waiting on Microsoft or whatever. Or sometimes the status is, wow, we totally dropped the ball on it. It got lost in the mix, the ticket got accidentally closed, whatever. But, clients appreciate it when you're just honest and you don't try to explain problems away. They're like, hey, I get it. And, it's okay, well, we forgot this, or whatever, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to prioritize it, we're going to work on it, over the weekend or whatever. Never explain problems away, because it doesn't...
Or blame other people, this person didn't do this, so...
it could be that you ran into Microsoft had made a change with something that you weren't aware of, but... Okay, whose fault is that? Is that Microsoft's fault? Is that your fault? Honestly, it doesn't really matter whose fault it is. But ultimately, if I'm the Microsoft partner, I should have known, right?
Yeah.
It's well, can you blame Microsoft? Sure. Okay, now what? Right?
Yeah, and the sooner we realize the self-accountability part, the more successful and mature individual we can be, because kids oftentimes will be like, oh no, Billy did it, no, Jimmy did it, I didn't break the vase, mm-hmm. That's kind of childish behavior. You can tell when you are a real adult that you can take self-accountability responsibilities when you're able to admit even the mistakes or maybe lack of something that you need help with, or that you made a mistake. But even like for I see like business owners blaming, like, well, my business didn't succeed because that was like bad market that year, or that was just like, oh, our landlord wasn't doing something. But you're the one that chose that specific location. You're the one that didn't do enough marketing, and was not able to get enough customers. So I mean, it's okay to fail, and everyone, but if you don't learn from that mistake, if you like walk away blaming circumstances, economy, other people, like, you're not gonna get better. Like, on your next business, there's again gonna be something else, like blaming, oh, well, this time it was like, my grandmother got sick, and then I got distracted and I couldn't, attend to business. So while those things, can happen, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out how to take care of them and prevent these problems. The same with real estate. Some failed landlords will say, oh, the tenants are so terrible, like, it's such a terrible business to be in.
You didn't screen well enough.
But then, like, did you took precautions to make sure you put responsible people in the units, and people that actually qualify, with their income, because it's unresponsible just actually to rent anyone that's going to struggle to have ends meet and pay that rent. And
it's not a good situation for anyone. Like, if you have an employee that's not pulling their weight, not able to complete tasks on time, or it's just a bad fit, right? Sometimes it's just a bad fit. It's not doing anybody any favors by just kind of letting them continue and float along, right? Obviously, in business or just in life, you should give people a chance. Maybe the reason that they're struggling is they're overwhelmed. They don't know. They just need some help prioritizing. They need some help from a PM to just organize their week, or they don't know what they're supposed to be doing because they don't have any clear direction, and they're just trying to figure it out. It's like, take a look at the problem. Okay, what's actually the problem here, right? And what created the problem? Sometimes it's the employee. Yeah, sometimes it's the economy, right? Hey, during COVID, restaurants, bars, everything shut down, right? Just hold on a second. Restaurants, bars, etc. closed down. Retail stores closed down. That was a big impact to IT business just in general. So it's like, you can just sit there and be like, oh, I hope that bars and restaurants and retail is going to open back up, so they'll have problems and they'll call for help. But it's like, okay, well, everyone's working from home now, right? So it's like, okay, well, how do we pivot our business to help people work from home, to solve the challenges that they're having working from home?
So like what I was trying to say also, it's easy to use like circumstances as an excuse, but then you have to find alternative ways and pathways, because during COVID, people that knew what they were doing, they survived, and actually they came out stronger than before. And I think there is a saying that when economy is good, like, everyone is doing, so to speak, well, but you just like pull the curtain from when economy is not good, then you see the real players, the people that actually know what they know what they're doing, because that really eliminates weak players. So it's almost like a self-cleansing process that, unfortunately, it is the people that take self-accountability, not unfortunately, fortunately, I should say, that can adapt to new market economy circumstances, is the ones that survive and do well and do better. Because of that, okay, what can we do? We have a problem. let's look inwards. Like, what can I do today to address this? And then you have less stress, because stress happens when when you think you're helpless, when you think you can't do nothing about the situation. But when you identify the problem and then, okay, look, what's the next step? What did I do wrong? Identify like what you could have done differently, and then next time what to do to not have the same issue. The same with health, so we covered business, real estate, but then health, and like even changing diet or weight loss, it's easy to blame I've gotten busy, or like, oh, I started to do this routine, but then life got in the way, and now like I'm off the bandwagon, and now I'm not eating healthy anymore. So that's self-accountability, or saying, oh, everyone in my family has this genetic, prone to gaining weight or prone to diabetes or things like that. So it's easy just to like give away the power to someone else, to some other idea, instead of taking self-accountability, saying, okay, well, actually, I'm going to be different. I'm going to do the things needed to overcome, maybe my likelihood of falling into the same like family genetic, like things that are running in the family, or
Well, the thing that I always say is, everyone, doesn't matter who you are, everybody has something going on, sometimes more visible than others. But to the example that Yolita just said about going to the gym or managing weight and stuff like that, are some people more prone to gaining weight? Of course. Are there some people that are more prone to just having a high metabolism and burning calories quicker? Yeah, of course. There's a famous cyclist, he only has one arm and one leg. And his whole saying is, what's your excuse? Right? Like, is he predisposed to gaining more weight? I don't know. But the dude's got one arm and one leg, and he's like a world-class cyclist. What's your excuse? If you're looking for a problem or you're looking for an excuse, you'll always find a problem or excuse. And yeah, you might have a challenge because genetically, maybe, you gain weight easier. But look at this guy. He's got one arm and one leg, and he's still in peak condition. He's got every excuse in the book.
There's even like quadriplegic people that manage to exercise. So it's only in your mind, that we have certain limitations or excuses that hold us back.
It's very easy to gain weight, right? Because you don't have to do anything. But, you got to take accountability. It's pretty simple, calories in, calories out. There's not a whole lot of big science behind that. I mean, you can eat whatever you want. Right? You just got to burn it off.
Now we can look at another example of self-accountability, like relationship or marriage. Like people, like one partner will, like, it's terrible. I mean, I don't hear it often, but sometimes I do. Like, people will blame, oh, my spouse is like terrible with this or that. But then it's important to look at, like, have you had like an honest communication with them about it, and have you tried to resolve that issue instead of just complaining about it? And at the end of the day, you chose that spouse, like so you can't be blaming that someone else like put you together with this person. So you have the freedom to choose, and nobody's perfect, but then if there's issues, then we have to see, okay, like maybe is there something I'm not doing that this person would like me to do to improve the relationship, or so looking inward again.
Yeah, and with relationships, whether it's marriage, business, or whatever, everybody has their strong sets of skills, right? So you can't fault someone if someone is just not a great communicator and that's just not their strong suite, you can't really blame them. They might be trying as best as they can, and they need extra, like in IT, a lot of times you just have to make split-second decisions, and I'm just accustomed to that. Emergencies happen all the time in IT world, but some people, they're like, well, what do you mean I have to make a decision right now? Like, no, I need to think about it, and that's not necessarily wrong. That's just how they process information, right? It's different.
Yeah, and the same with client relationships. So also, like, sometimes a business will be like, oh, well, we lost this client, like this client was maybe not good and the deal didn't work out well, or we didn't get paid as much as we want to. But then, like, did you set the correct expectations with the customer when you started the job? It falls on the customer to also, like, not assume that, certain goals or tasks will be accomplished in certain project by, let's say, a contractor or other provider. But it's important to then look back how to prevent next time the situation. Okay, well, we have to look at correct expectations by the customer. Maybe our communication with the customer line needs to be improved. Maybe we need to send like this reminder for this like upcoming appointment, or like we throughout the years in our Brilliant Massage and Skin Spa, as I developed systems and processes, we perfected it every time. Something would happen where the customer wouldn't be like happy, and we would say, we need to send email and text reminder. We need to allow people to be able opt in, opt out, and then for certain, then we need to have 24-hour cancellation policy, because then it affects our therapists. So like, we need to prepay appointments. So we came out with the system that really made both ends happy, the customer and us happy. And that's where it stands right now. So yeah, if we didn't take like the negative feedback or couple accidents that was negative, and we just said, hell with them, they're just bad customer. And if we did that, we would never gotten to where we are today.
Yeah, take problems and look at what the actual root of the problem is. Is it a documentation? Is it unrealistic expectations? Sometimes with technology, people have in their head the way that it should work, whether that's how it works or it doesn't. And, you or me, us, whoever, as the provider, needs to set the correct expectation. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I'm a Google Workspace user and I want to use Microsoft Outlook, I'm going to be like, sure, will it work? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a poor end user experience. I'm just going to, and I'll just say it, just being honest,
Yeah.
To set the expectation, and it's always, kind of set the expectation a little bit lower. So, that you can always come out ahead, overshoot on budget just because something's always going to happen. So then you're coming in under budget and you're not going back later to ask for more money.
And then like sometimes people that have like poor skills or training in something also will blame, like even like sales example, right? Like salesperson like that's trying to sell like something, whether it's like cold sales or whatever, cold calling or door knocking or something like that, they'll say like, oh, well, it's bad market, but then like, did they really perfect their pitch? Like, did they really know their product? Did they really study all the benefits, and do they know where to find their perfect customer, Mm-hmm. So it's self, accountability with client management, sales performance, doing certain deals.
And knowing your audience too, right? Someone that is selling insurance, say end-of-life insurance for palliative care, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going around and door knocking and cold calling in a college town, that's not the right market. you're going to get burned out so quickly. I mean, you're probably going to get some sales, right? Someone might be like, oh yeah, I mean, this sounds like something like my parents, you know? So it's like, okay, well, you're door knocking in a college town, probably not the best location. You start looking on Google, hey, look, there's a 55 and over community 2 miles down the street. Which one do you think you're going to have a better chance of selling end of life care insurance, right?
Yeah. So, and
knowing your audience.
Yeah, and if you need help, you gotta seek mentorship, be around the people that could give you the tools, knowledge, tools that you need. Maybe books, reach out books, podcasts, YouTube videos. There's a lot of free information. You can literally have college of information for free now on the internet. Like you can learn almost anything: sales, math, language. You know, if even if not free, it's fairly low cost. You know,
and find people. You know, don't necessarily look at someone else that's doing the same thing as competition. Look at it as a potential partnership, right? You know, I work with kind of another IT local company. Are we competitors? 100%, 1,000%, right? We're managed service and security providers. But they really focus on that offices for whatever reason, right? That's what they want to focus on. So they get calls.
Because vets make a lot of money.
Right. You know, they get calls and it's like, hey, I'm opening a new pizza restaurant downtown, you know, like, and they're like, that's not really our thing. But here, talk to this guy, you know, so to speak.
Yeah, like referral.
Yeah. So, you know, looking at, you know, there's enough work for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Even in a small market, there's enough work for everybody. And even more so when it's a small market, that's when you need to look at everything as a partnership, right? That's what really set Microsoft apart when Steve Ballmer left, was that Microsoft was like, hey, look, like, is Oracle a competition? Of course they are, right? But like, customers are going to make their decision one way or the other. So let's try to form some sort of partnership so that, you know, Oracle runs on top of Azure, you know, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, well, and you can buy sometimes, like, competitors or former competitor will be buying, like, going out of business because they're retiring or things like that. So it's good to stay in touch with and have relationship with the same people in the industry, because that's another way to grow your business, is to buy maybe a client list or And
if you're just starting out, making contact with a competitor that's much larger than you isn't necessarily a bad idea. They might be looking to offload some kind of, you know, low-hanging fruit, right? They've grown so big, they don't want to deal with a 1, 2, 3, 4 person shop. And that might be a great opportunity. And you know what? They might be willing to kind of help, you know, with the transition. You never know until you ask.
And that's another way, you know, to get rich. The other thing, like wealthy, to get better your financial situation, if that's, you know, I mean, that's a lot of people's goal. Not everyone, but most people would like to better their financial situation, is to look for opportunities. Like right now, like a lot of, like, it's easy to say, oh, well, for young kids it's hard, like the economy, it's much worse than for our parents, the housing costs are much harder. But you know, there's also still opportunities if you're smart, like even in the trades, like taking over. A lot of older people retiring, like plumbing businesses, electrical, they need someone to take over these businesses, and a lot of times they even are willing to sell or finance them. So if you're young right now, don't listen what these people tell you, that, you know, oh, like it's so hard economically. It's not hard if you creative and find ways how to survive in any economy. So if you see, you got to see opportunity. Like, yes, it is going to be hard if you're going to be, you know, just taking linear path that maybe everyone's took or taken like 20 years ago. Just like go to school, go to college, and hope that you're gonna have a good salary. That might not always be the case. Like, salaries are not that great for a lot of college graduates. Even like if you are graduating to be like a teacher, or like there's many majors, that not that great. Some are, I mean, if you're gonna be a doctor, but you're still gonna have, quite a bit of debt. If you can work and pay your way through the school, so you gotta find like creative ways, other ways how to come out of
and take a down economy as opportunity, right? During COVID, or times of financial struggle, just world, a lot of people are like, wow, like this is going to be hard to navigate. And I'm like, no, this is a great opportunity. If you're in the IT sector, people can't travel, right? Or they're not, willing to travel because of the expense. Okay, do they have a Zoom professional setup? Do they know how to use it? To kind of the example of like a trades business, is a lot of businesses that are well known in the trades, like plumbing, HVAC, or whatever. They've been around for generations, right? It might be the 2, 3, 4 generations. They've been around for 100 years. And not to say everyone, but a lot of them have no clue about this whole internet thing.
Or how to use
technology
in their business.
Or how technology can help their business. Just like 2 electricians come to mind. One comes through, they're just kind of like, okay, yep, like, oh yeah, no, I got it, it's all up here. It's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna forget half of
Or they don't have even like appointment scheduling system.
Another electrician comes in, they've got, an app on their phone, they're taking pictures, they're taking notes on the app helps build out. It's like, okay, well, the app knows I need to swap 10 outlets. Okay, that takes 15 minutes per outlet. Is that golden? Of course not, right? Stuff is going to happen, but that just shows that technology can apply to any business. A lot of these older businesses are hesitant because it's like, oh, that's mad science type stuff.
Well, yeah.
As a grad, or as someone hungry to get into this industry, go in, offer your services, maybe on a discount to prove it, right?
Well, the thing is, like, these services won't be replaced by robots. What's getting replaced is like copywriting, graphic design. A lot of it can get really, technology is blowing up there, but like plumber and massage and skincare, like our business, people always gonna want personal touch, and like we add technology into our business and modernize it. And that's like other trades businesses. If you buy and you add technology, you now increase the value and sustainability of that business for many years to come. So look into businesses that's like evergreen, and that a technology can be added to them or is added to them, and you can do well financially. And that's self-accountability. So, learning these skills, learning the culture too, being aware of what's going on, and opportunities that are out there, not just sitting and blaming a certain like government or certain administration in this town or whatever, or country is the problem. I mean, yeah, do they have like some do they have influence on some of the things? Yeah, they do. But at the end of the day, there's always people that done well in any economy, and there's always people that done in any country, even the poorest country. There are people that doing well.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look for opportunities, right? There's always opportunities. You always have choices. That opportunity or the choice might not be your first or second, or maybe even your third choice, but maybe that's, sometimes the only choice or the only option or the only person is the best person, option, whatever.
And that makes it easier sometimes when you don't have too many things to choose from.
Yeah, there's a company in St. Albans, about 45 minutes from where we are, that makes like precision ceramic components for like aerospace, and their entire product line is like 3 parts, and and they're like $200 million a year business, right? You know, and I remember talking to one of the sales guys and was like, wow, like this is like, you know, you must have a hard time selling it. And he was like, no, he's like, honestly, he's like, it sells itself. He's, we have no competition. He's like, no one wants to get into this industry. And I was like, really? Why? And he was like, honestly, he's like, I don't know. And he's like, I don't want to find out either. You know, it's like looking into a lot of these niche industries, a lot of industries that are, say, you know, for me, afraid of technology, right? You know, and see how to apply technology and show them that it's not just a necessary evil, right? It's not a cost segregation. It's, you know, a tool to amplify their business.
Yeah, so we covered, you know, self-accountability is gonna let you to succeed or not succeed, learning from past mistakes, looking inwards, what you could have done, what you could have, how you could do differently next time. And that's why actually business owners that open a second business are more successful if they failed already in the first business, because they learn, you know, what not to do, hopefully. So, you know, failure is okay, but then you have to learn from it. The same with relationship, you know, you want to have self-accountability and see like what you are contributing or not contributing in a certain relationship, whether it's with a spouse or kids or customers or parents. You know, you have to look and identify, and then that's the only way to, I think, it's to get better. Well, if you would like to learn more about what we have to offer, Brilliant Massage and Skin, you can reach out, franchise at yolittabrilliant.com, or just subscribe to see more videos and podcast episodes here on our channel. And if you're looking for some IT support, there's Nicholas, aka Bigcat, Nick at itinvt.com. Hope you have good holidays. And I just got my bottom wisdom tooth removed, so I'm still a little sore, but doing all right. So I think we're gonna wrap up for this episode.
Yep.
And yeah.
Sounds good. See everyone. Have a great holiday.
Yeah.
Safe holiday.
Happy 2025. It'll be the best year ever. Be brilliant.